Hello class, my name is Ronique, and today I'm going to be doing my project on identity and sort of the double consciousness. I found it very helpful that I'm actually taking a class this semester that I can relate to my life experience. Within my own life within the past few months I've been dealing with questions about spirituality and identity as well. Within my own spiritual beliefs I've come to embrace the religion of candomblé, which is what they practice in Brazil. It's like voodoo, but it's not all bad, and you know that's its own story. Right now you're probably wondering why I'm dressed the way I am. It's just, you know, I'm dressed like a practitioner of candomblé. They wear the white dresses and the small tie layers, and they wear the head wraps, and it's actually very interesting that each person has a certain saint or orisha that sort of governs them, or they sort of can relate to themselves to. And my orisha is Ionza, and it's actually very interesting because Ionza is actually the orisha of sort of female empowerment. So she's all about, you know, female empowerment. She's actually the only female orisha who's a warrior, and with her husband Shango, she is actually very equal. So that's very important when you look at it like that. And so that would be my orisha, of course, right? But yeah, so in this video we're going to have a clip, an interview with my 16-year-old friend Kenya, and then as well as with my friend Kaloi. I just want to get his opinion on a few things, and then I'm going to read a poem sort of about the subconsciousness later, and then that will be it. Okay, so enjoy. Thank you.
You guys have lied to me about other stuff, so like...
That's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Good point. That's true.
Like, maybe just covering up for that.
But when does it become, why are you always looking for someone else's opinion about yourself as opposed to finding it for yourself within yourself? Why do you always need someone else's...
Because I don't have my own style.
And not style, you don't have your own opinion.
I don't have my own opinion either.
Then you need to get your own opinion.
Are you using somebody else's?
You find it by...
Find it, yeah.
I say yes, well, I say no. That's your opinion.
So is it like one of those things where you're like basing like what you see, like how you should be? Interesting. So technically, what would they tell you should be?
I should be skinny. I don't know, my hair I should have real hair, you know, instead of fake hair.
That's interesting.
Stuff like that.
Wow, yeah, that's that's really interesting, and I think this like goes back to what we're talking about, you know, of just like beauty and like how ingrained it is within us. Like we don't even know where we get these notions from, or how to stop the perpetuation of it. So after I listened to that clip, and the question I asked myself was, you know, do we really know where we get these notions, and can we really stop this sort of perpetuation of these things? And so I thought a lot about this, and I think to myself, it's very important that we sort of have mentor groups that we're proactive about this thing. We need to have poetry readings, we need to have workshops, classes. I think it would be great to have like women's studies classes in high schools and middle schools, so people can sort of understand and sort of think about these things when they're growing up, so they won't become so affected when they're older. Because I think the greatest thing that can affect somebody, you know, is to be shamed or embarrassed, or even have these sort of identity crisis, and nobody crises, excuse me, and nobody really that you can talk to about these things. So you sort of think you're weird or something. You grow up and you have this sort of chip on your shoulder, and then you don't really know where you got this from. So I feel like it's really important that we reach out and mentor and help other people. Places where women can have collective gatherings, yes, and men should be invited too, so they can understand these things. So yes, I'm going to play a little clip, and then I'm going to do my video, okay, rather my poem, okay, thanks. Part of my presentation, right, you like it?
I'm here.
Okay, let's do it, let's talk. So, I want you to tell me, when you think of a black woman in film, what is the first thing you think of?
Well, I'm going to answer that question in two parts, because me as a progressive individual,
well, especially okay, and tell me, because you're from Britain, so you're coming at it from outside of America. On top of it,
outside of American perspective, because I think American blacks are usually so married to the idea of their culture being this sort of hard, aggressive kind of thing, when, you know, black women are perceived to be very kind of saucy, which is, you know, all women are saucy, and, you know, even black women got, you know, a flavor to them that's could be considered a little more saucy, but it's when you're perpetuating things like this just for culture's sake that it becomes just...
exactly, Kalai.
Yeah, a bunch of muck.
I'm sorry, you're so right about that.
It becomes a bunch of muck, you know?
It becomes, so it's sort of like double consciousness.
It's
that we were discussing the other day.
You're not loyal completely to yourself, you're loyal to an image of how you're supposed to be.
Oh my gosh, exactly!
Yeah.
You said it perfectly. That's exactly how I feel. Yes, and so at one point, it's kind of like, how are you truly supposed to identify with yourself?
Exactly.
If you're being told you're supposed to be a certain way, versus you being who you are.
Exactly.
And you might be...
cultural...
for some cultural... Exactly.
All for fitting in. And I think it all goes back to this, isn't it? It's so funny that we go through high school. It's like it's kind of socially preparing us, literally. We're processing all this useless information.
So, I wrote this poem. It's sort of a letter to my subconsciousness, or maybe conversation with it. But nonetheless, it's called The Faceless Mirror. Okay? I've got it pretty memorized, but I might reference my sheet, so, okay. To see the sight of yourself in the collective gaze of self-consciousness, where we constantly gaze upon ourselves through the eyes of others. But how are we to understand what we gaze when we seek understanding, encouragement, and love? To master self-understanding would be the greatest gift of all, wouldn't it? But on that one day, something happened. It started off beautiful. I was walking down the street. I saw her over there. Her skin was so translucent, and she had this intense stare, and we gazed upon each other. Suddenly, I'm standing over there next to her, a gentle kiss on my neck, and then I transformed into something that I'd never dreamed at all. And then when I saw myself in the mirror, it was nothing. It was a blank face. It was nothing at all. And suddenly I said to myself, what has happened to me? I've become that what I hate. I cannot even go into the sunlight anymore. Just to simply gaze upon it, the light would be what I seek every day in my dreams. And suddenly, the sun came out, and my skin was fine, and I ran over to the mirror, and everything was back to normal. But as I think about it, was I dreaming? Was I self-delusional? What was that nothingness that was in the mirror? You see, it was nothing at all. For I am my only gaze.